both admire and curious due to the unique things that exist in its time. A highly modern country that still firmly holds on to centuries-old traditional culture, a place with advanced technology, robots, and bullet trains. It simultaneously exists with social rules, strange festivals, and many unique inventions, causing cultural shock for visitors for the very first time they set. The more one explores Japan, the more one realizes that behind the glamour of Tokyo or the tranquility of Kyoto are countless interesting and sometimes unbelievable facts. And they fully reflect the national character of this country. Discipline, creativity, distinctiveness, and a touch of excellence. Next video, let. Dwarf Japan. Dwarves. Meaning. Took on another sad meaning. So, were they really short? The accurate answer is yes. The Japanese were indeed shorter than the Chinese, especially Northern Chinese. This is further reinforced by their nutritional regime. Due to the influence of Buddhism, in 675, Emperor Tenmu issued an edict prohibiting the consumption of beef, horse, dog, chicken, and monkey meat. Over time, this ban was extended throughout the year for all types of meat. In fact, even before the ban, meat was not an essential part of life for most people. Since Japan is an island nation, seafood was the most common commodity. Moreover, livestock farming here was very difficult, so eating animals useful for agriculture was also discouraged. As a result, for 1,200 years, meat was banned in Japan, and anyone who wanted to consume it had to do so. It wasn't until 1872 that this ban was lifted during the Meiji Restoration, and people were encouraged to eat red meat and drink milk to improve their physique. From then on, the height of the Japanese gradually improved, from 157.9 centimeters for men and 147 centimeters for women in 1900. It increased to 162.5 centimeters and 152. For comparison, at that time, the average height of Vietnamese people was 160 centimeters for men and 150 centimeters for women. However, during World War II, most Japanese soldiers sent to Indochina were low-grade soldiers with heights of only 150 centimeters. This created a stereotype of the Japanese being short, even though the reality was. After World War II, the height of the Japanese decreased again due to nutritional deficiencies, specifically dropping to 160.6 centimeters for men and 152.1 centimeters for women. In that context, the Japanese government decided to encourage people to adopt a Western-style diet, changing their meals to include more animal protein, especially increasing milk consumption. As a result, by 2024, men reached 170.8 centimeters and women 158 centimeters, meaning an increase of 12.9 centimeters and 11 centimeters over 124 years. If you want to experience one of Japan's strangest and most unique festivals, you cannot miss Sominsai, a 1,000-year-old tradition held at the beginning of the new year to pray for a bountiful harvest and protection from disasters. It takes place at Kokuseki Temple in Osu City, Iwate Prefecture. Unlike festivals with fireworks or traditional dances, Sominsai offers a health-challenging experience for participants. Accordingly, on the night of the 7th day of the Lunar New Year, when the weather is still cold, men wearing only loincloths walk from Kokuseki Temple to a nearby river to immerse themselves in near-freezing water to purify themselves. Afterward, they return and walk around the temple once under the lantern light, then go inside to pray for blessings and gather to compete for a sacred stick, believing that the winner will receive divine protection in the new year, gaining health and happiness. Demons, go away. Typically, Sominsai attracts about 2,000 to 3,000 visitors each year, but in 2024, that number doubled as it was the last time the festival was held. In reality, this over 1,000-year tradition has become a burden for the local community, which is rapidly aging and lacks the strength to handle the organizational work. On the surface, the festival looks very interesting, but it comes with a series of rituals and tasks that need to be carried out behind the scenes. With an increasingly aging population, it is very difficult for the elderly to organize such a large scale. Nevertheless, the flame of tradition has never gone out. The local people still hope to find a new way to maintain the festival because, for them, the true value of Songensai can only be fully felt when you yourself embark on that journey. Why are there no public trash cans? If you have ever been to Japan, you must have been surprised when walking along streets, parks, or stations and hardly seen any public trash cans. This is one of the things that makes visitors both surprised and curious about the unique culture and lifestyle of the Japanese. But few know that the cause of this phenomenon stems from a historical tragedy. In the 1990s, the cult Om Shinrikyo began to rise and attract many followers. This evil organization carried out numerous terrorist acts. First was the sarin gas attack in Matsumoto on June 27, 1994, which killed 8 people and injured 500, but the perpetrators were not discovered. Then, on March 20, 1995, 5 members of Om Shinrikyo released the nerve agent sarin throughout Tokyo subway stations during the morning rush hour. The attackers used plastic bags wrapped in newspapers to create a mechanism for dispersing the colorless, odorless gas. The result was 14 deaths and 1,000 injuries. This time, the perpetrators were caught, and the cult was banned. Nevertheless, many Japanese still fear a repeat of the disaster and demanded the government take strong action to prevent it. One of the security measures implemented was the complete removal of public trash cans, as they could be places to hide various terrorist weapons. This action also helps keep the streets cleaner as each individual increases their self-awareness in disposing of trash. Not wanting to trouble anyone to clean up their trash, most people carry bags of trash home to dispose. However, this surprises many foreigners. According to a survey by the Japan Tourism Agency in early 2025, up to 21.9% of international tourists consider the lack of trash cans the biggest inconvenience, more than language barriers or overcrowding at tourist spots. Still, this is an interesting characteristic of Japanese culture, helping the country become one of the cleanest in the world. People who suddenly vanish. Johatsu. And one day, they leave everything behind without a word of explanation, completely disappearing from their current life. Strangely, in a society famous for discipline, order, and respect for the law, up to 80,000 people vanish each year, implicitly understood as a way to start over from scratch. A person can become johatsu for many reasons, including depression, addiction, inappropriate sexual relationships, and a desire for isolation. Some escape domestic violence, overwhelming debt, gangs, stalkers, employers, and difficult family circumstances. Additionally, shame from job loss, divorce, and even failing exams can also drive people to disappear. Notably, there are businesses that support johatsu called jongeda, which means moonlighting shops. These establishments are relatively accessible and have their own websites. A specific jongeda may charge from $450 to $2,600 for its services, depending on factors such as the amount of access, the distance of the move, whether it is a nighttime move, whether children are included, and whether the client is evading debt collectors. Sometimes it is discovered that johatsu spend time in pachinko parlors and cheap hotel rooms, or more negatively, some have committed suicide after hiding. In particular, Sanya in Tokyo and Kamagasaki in Osaka are considered hideouts for many johatsu. These are slum districts where one can live without identification and find day labor jobs to earn money. There are also those who join the Yakuza and become part of the underworld. Overall, the phenomenon of johatsu has deep-seated reasons, largely because Japan is a country notorious for its overwork culture, extremely high social pressure, along with strict family expectations and a focus on achievement. When a person feels they have failed at work, cannot repay debts, or no longer have a place in society, they often choose to disappear to avoid personal shame and preserve their family's honor. The apology experts. If you ever thought apologizing was just a basic courtesy, in Japan, it has been elevated to a professional art, even to the extent of having an entire apology rental industry. One of the prominent names is Shizai Daiko, founded in 2014 and currently employing about 120 staff, primarily taking apology requests via phone or website. Most paths will be divided into two basic categories. One is companies that have existing customers, and the other is companies that have retained customers. The second category includes those who are not loyal. When a request is made, the customer must clearly describe the reason, the area that, depending on the situation, employees may apologize through direct caring, over the phone, or via email. However, the most impactful apologies are still those given in person, where they use the doggies form, bowing deeply and kneeling close to the ground to express absolute remorse. In most cases, the person receiving the apology will reciprocate and accept it, as they do not wish to escalate the matter. Prices may vary depending on the cause as well as the method of execution. Shizai AIGA charges approximately $230 for a direct apology and $90 for an apology via phone or email, while Nihon Shizai Daikokuo charges by the hour, and about $32 per hour of service. Although it has become a developed service in Japan, apology rental companies still receive a lot of criticism because they make social relationships artificial. Many people believe that it is better not to apologize at all than to offer such a fake apology, as the person at fault will then be unable to recognize their own mistakes.
Eating KFC on Christmas Eve. If you ever thought Christmas in Japan would be filled with Christmas trees, reindeer, and Santa Claus, one of the strangest and most famous traditions is probably eating KFC chicken. It sounds surprising, but for the Japanese, it has become such an indispensable part of the night of December 24th that you have to order weeks in advance to be sure to get a meal.
Looking back, the first KFC store in Japan opened in 1970 and was managed by Takeshi Okawara. He came up with the idea of selling chicken for Christmas after hearing many foreigners complain about not being able to eat turkey on this special day. However, at that time in Japan, only 2% of the population was Christian, so celebrating Christmas was not yet common.
However, this also means there are very few holiday-related services for followers of the religion. So, Takeshi dressed up as Santa Claus and brought a bucket of delicious fried chicken to celebrate with the children at a Christian. Many other schools also turned to KFC to organize similar parties for children who love fried chicken, even though they were not followers of the religion. In this way, the business continued to prosper, and by the winter of 1973, there were already 100 large and small stores spread. Currently, about 3.6 million families in Japan eat KFC fried chicken during Christmas. It can be said that this dish has become closely associated with family reunions and
family rental service.
In Japan, where people always maintain a calm exterior even when they may be suffocating from loneliness inside, a strange but extremely popular business has emerged: the family rental service. Instead of finding a lover, getting married, or building a real family, many Japanese people choose to borrow happiness with money. They rent wives, husbands, children, and even parents to fill emotional gaps or cope with social pressure. Notably, the rental fees are not cheap, costing around $200 per day per person. For some people, this is a way to escape feelings of loneliness and the judgment of colleagues. More notably, it is not only used for emotional purposes but also to enhance one's image, such as hiring a wife to give birth to show off the company, or hiring an ideal husband to attend. Some even hire groups of professional wedding attendees for as much as $45,000. Because of this cost, the bride, groom, and family members from both sides can all be actors. The groomsmen and bridesmaids are even more professional, capable of delivering speeches to the crowd, often moving many. Nowadays, family rental services are operated as systematically as a film company. All members must learn the script, character traits, and family history, and must play their roles perfectly in all circumstances, sometimes even maintaining their roles from. Despite causing controversy, this service continues to grow rapidly because it touches on the biggest issue in Japanese society: loneliness and the pressure to be perfect. Japanese people do not want to be judged as failures in marriage, family, or relationships, so they choose the option of creating a perfect family for a few hours. Many social experts argue that this industry exists as a temporary bandage for shattered souls, as it only helps them escape reality rather than heal their own loneliness.
The world's most loved hotels.
Mentioning Japan brings to mind countless peculiar things, and among them are 37,000 love hotels spread across the country, which have become a unique and distinctive piece of modern life. These are establishments specifically designed for couples seeking private space, offering a variety of rooms from simple to luxurious, and even featuring bizarre themed rooms, such as tropical rainforest rooms, fairy tale rooms, or superhero-style rooms. Love hotels first appeared in the 1960s and quickly became a distinctive cultural symbol of Japan, reflecting both the need for private space in a densely populated society and a fast-paced lifestyle. These establishments in Japan have very distinct characteristics compared to conventional hotels. Instead of direct contact with reception, many hotels use automated machines, private elevators, and the rental options are also flexible, ranging from a few hours to overnight, depending on needs. This makes love hotels not only serve young couples but also an ideal place for those who need to avoid prying eyes or want to experience a special night without being disturbed. Contrary to what many people think, love hotels in Japan are not discreet or hidden. Instead, they stand out with playful architecture, vibrant colors, and unique designs that are unmistakable. From whales, UFOs, European castles, to palaces with a distinct style of onion-domed roofs. Traditionally, it reflects Japan's unique culture regarding sex and privacy. While many countries consider sex a sensitive topic, in Japan, the subject is organized and managed professionally, with respect for customers, while maintaining absolute hygiene and safety. Some hotels also provide cosplay costumes, entertainment equipment, or jacuzzi baths, making each visit to the beach both a strange and interesting experience.
Useless fans of mine.
If you think Japan is only famous for high technology, smart robots, or super fast cars, you will certainly be surprised to learn that this country is also the capital of useless but extremely interesting inventions, also known as chindogu. This term refers to humorous, quirky creations that are sometimes not really necessary but make people exclaim that only Japan could think of them. These inventions are not only entertaining but also reflect an unlimited creative spirit and the ability to see the world in a very different way. The typical example of chindogu is sure to bring a smile to your face. For instance, there is a hair protector for heating noodles, which keeps hair from falling into a bowl, or a cooling fan attached to chopsticks so users can both eat and cool down their hot noodles. Some other fans have come up with even more surprising ideas, such as children's clothing integrated with a house mop, allowing kids to wear clothes while mopping the floor, shoe umbrellas to keep shoes dry, or even a full-body umbrella raincoat that lets people walk in the... Additionally, there are ideas that make listeners jump in surprise, such as a bowl that enhances emotions, paper hats for allergy sufferers, solar-powered lighters, mobile hair straighteners for walking, and back-scratching guide shirts. Interestingly, chindogu is not just for fun. The Japanese believe that each invention must be nearly useful but not entirely, and absolutely must not be mass commercialized. This is how they combine art, humor, and observations of daily life. Many inventions arise from extremely mundane needs, but when viewed from a different angle, they become incredibly unique, humorous, and deeply impressive ideas. Coffee for men and women in the South. Japan is famous for its unique ideas, and one of them is soineta, also known as sleeping together coffee. This is a rather special type of cafe where customers can pay to sleep next to another person without any sexual relationship, simply sleeping together to create a sense of closeness and safety. This service was created to serve those who feel lonely, stressed, or sleep deprived, while also wanting to experience the feeling of being comforted and touching the warmth of another person in a safe and controlled environment. When customers come to soineta, they can choose someone to sleep next to, usually a staff member of the establishment or a professional model, and then rest together in a private space with curtains, a bed, or comfortable sofa. Customers can choose their sleep time from 20 minutes to 10 hours or opt for a full night. The starting price for this service is $40, and the highest price is $400. Soineta bars are not only popular with singles but are also sought out by some customers who are overworked, living far from home, or have just moved to Tokyo. Many people believe that simply being near another person without having to talk helps reduce their stress. In addition, some establishments offer additional services such as light massage, soft music, and dim lighting to create a maximally relaxing atmosphere, helping guests drift into a deeper sleep, while accompanying packages include backpacking to sleep, stroking the hair of the girls for 3 minutes, gazing into their eyes for 1 minute, or resting once. However, this type of service is also controversial. Some people consider paying to sleep next to someone else as strange and somewhat inappropriate, while many others view it as a modern mental health solution suited to Japanese society, where work pressure and loneliness are increasingly prevalent.
No matter what, Soimiya remains an interesting testament to Japanese creativity, where spiritual needs are valued as much as material ones, and it opens up a completely new perspective on how people seek closeness in modern urban life. Manhole cover is a work of art.
Many tourists visiting Japan are surprised to discover artworks beneath their feet. In many cities across the country, from Tokyo and Osaka to Kyoto, manhole covers are not merely metal plates covering the sewage system but are intricately decorated with all kinds of images, patterns, and vibrant colors. This is one of those small yet extremely unique details that reflect local culture, history, and identity. Japan has up to 12,000 artistic manhole covers, each with its own story. For example, in Sapporo City, you will see images of salmon in a clock tower, while Katsuyama is where the first dinosaur fossil was discovered in Japan, and Aomori features a samurai warrior alongside dancers in traditional costumes and flower hats. Some places even print images of animals, anime characters, or modern symbols, making anyone who sees them stop to admire. Not only do these manhole covers serve a practical function, but they are also a way for the Japanese to elevate daily life, turning seemingly mundane details into interesting visual experiences. This phenomenon stems from the spirit of extending art into every corner of life, a cultural value that the Japanese hold in extremely high regard. The people of this country believe that every detail in the city can bring joy and delight, thereby contributing to the creation of a creative and refined space.
Don't forget to look down at your feet. These seemingly simple manhole covers are vivid proof of the Japanese people. The strange toilets. If you think toilets are just simple places to meet physiological needs, Japan will completely change that perspective.
In this country, toilets are not only clean but also creatively bizarre, becoming part of culture and technology.
That's all, you. Flush.
Additionally, there are toilets that emit perfume scents, automatically adjust seat height, play music, or have color-changing LED lights. Many are even designed like mini bathrooms with lively patterns, music playing buttons, and screens displaying. Not only in train stations or shopping centers, some toilets have become tourist attractions where visitors take photos and experience the weirdness. Like the 18-karat gold-plated toilet, the toilet filled with Toyota car parts, the toilet in a lush green garden, the toilet surrounded by 3 fish tanks, and a ski resort-style clip. This reflects part of Japanese culture, optimizing every detail in life, turning seemingly ordinary things into comfortable and fun.
From children and the elderly to
tourists, everyone can be amazed by the creativity and sophistication of something everyone thought was mundane. These are interesting facts about Japan. If you want us to cover any topics, please leave comments below.
Hello and see you in the next videos.
Subscribe to the Gia Nero channel so you don't miss exciting videos.